In this video, we are going to talk about a very elegant technique of making short notes known as compendiums. So what I've seen is most of the students do not have a system of making short notes or compendiums, as a result of which, as and when the syllabus progresses and JEE syllabus containing 90 topics, it becomes extremely difficult for them to retain content. And when we are solving questions involving multiple concepts, multiple topics, they are unable to interlink those concepts because they are unable to remember it. So for doing that, we have developed a system of retention. A mentorship session regarding that has already been taken. But still few of you will want a dedicated video on how to make compendiums, and that is where this video comes into picture. Tune through it. So the first step of making compendium is to go through the mind map of that chapter. Now in PracBee notes, before every chapter or towards the end of it, you will always find one such mind map given, which summarizes all the important ideas and subtopics that are there in a topic. So it is very important that you go over this because this is going to form the framework over which we are going to develop a compendium. Now comes the step 2 of forming a compendium. The step 2 is you take a blank sheet of paper like this and you fold it in between like this. So what will happen is after folding it in this manner, you will have 4 different areas in which you can write. One is this area, another one is this area, and then there are 2 areas inside. So in this way, you have 4 different parts of a paper on which you can write. Here I am telling very specifically to use a blank sheet of paper. I am not asking to use it or develop it in a copy or a notebook. The reason behind that is sometimes after some time you'll want to redo these compendiums. So if you have done it in a blank sheet of paper and filed them, then it would be easy to remove that paper from the file and rewrite it and put it back. Now the next step is to choose the right kind of base material to make the compendium. So while making compendium, the primary source should be the classwork notebook that you have developed based on class lecture notes. The second source could be the module or the hard copy module that we have given to you. The third source can be test papers. So here comes the next step. So once you have taken your notebook, now like we have headings in our mind maps, now you can put the same kind of headings while making a compendium. Now in that headings, what should you write? So you should not write descriptive things about what is something. While writing a definition, you can write important keywords that are important in that definition. For example, in the definition of function, it goes like this: for every element of set A, there is a unique element in set B. So while writing this much, either you can just write it as every and unique, because you have somewhere the definition in your mind, but the keywords that is unique and every, you will forget that. So while writing a definition, instead of writing everything, just write the important keywords. Now you can also mention 1 or 2 lines or 1 or 2 words regarding how we came up with a formula after that. Write that formula result, it is very important. And then what was the algorithm that you used to solve a problem? You can make a small diagram or a small arrow diagram to show that algorithm. If there is some important diagram, you can also include that. So in your compendium, there should be nothing descriptive, because if you make it in a descriptive manner, that compendium is going to flow over 5-6 pages. We do not want to make another notebook, because now see, if it is in 1 page, once you have done 90 topics, you have to just revise 90 pages. But if it is in, let us say 2 pages, then it will become 180 and it will keep increasing like that. So you will want to make compendium of 1 topic in 1 page, front and back. Or if it is a big topic, you can have 2 pages also. Compendiums usually in mathematics and physics will be shorter, and compendiums in chemistry can be little bit lengthy, because it is lot more information based compared to physics and mathematics. Now, you should only write these 4 things while making compendium: keyword, formula, algorithm, diagram. If you want to write some mechanism, you can also write some important steps in that mechanism, or some derivation. You can still write 1 or 2 important key steps. So when you read over it, you should be able to recall. See, compendium is not something that is meant for public distribution. This is something very personal that you are making for yourself, so you are able to recall whatever you did in the class. So what should you recall after the class? 1, the exact definition, because that is the core of the concept. Second, the exact formula, because that will be required to solve a problem. The exact technique that you are going to solve a problem. So there should also be problem types while making compendium. Now, if there is some important diagram, that should also be a part of compendium. So in a nutshell, your compendium should contain 4 of these ideas: keyword, formula, algorithm, diagram. Now let us see how we are going to do it. So I have taken my blank sheet of paper. Now let us say I am starting with a topic name is trigonometry. So what I am going to do is I am going to put a heading and the trigonometry at the top. And after putting that heading, now I can start writing important things or important ideas that are important while doing this chapter. The first point you can put as is the concept of angle. In this angle, what you can do is you can put only one thing: magnitude of rotation. So see, we have not written everything. We have just written the key word, and that is important for describing this idea. So we have written just the idea, magnitude of rotation. We have not put everything down. Now, let us say that there is a formula which is important, or there are 3 important small measurements of angle. For example, there is this degree system. Then there is the radian system. And then there is the gradient system. So you can write that also. So once you have noted all these things down, you can, in the degree system, you can just write right angle is equal to 90 degree. And some other information if you want to, right? 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes. And 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. In this radian, you can just write theta is equal to L by R. And you can also mention 180 degree is equal to pi radian. Similarly, you can keep on making this. So what you should understand here, I am writing important formulas, keywords. I am not being descriptive in doing so. Now let us see a very good example how a student has executed this idea. So this is a well executed idea of making a compendium. So what this student has done is she has first placed the mind map that I have given him for making or while teaching that topic, so that she can follow the same order that is there in the mind map. And after that, now you can see that she has made table in order to summarize the data in a much shorter manner. After that, she is writing important keywords here. And then you can see that all the important results are there. And instead of dividing the paper into 2 parts, what she has done is she has divided it into 3 parts. So that is also fine. You can also do that. And you can see that then most of the ideas that are there in this chapter known as parabola, she has put that in very concise manner. So there is nothing descriptive in it. Fine. So now in order for you to refer it in a better manner, I have uploaded a copy of this specific compendium because this is a very well executed example of it along with this lecture. So you can also go back after it and once more go into this idea and explore how it is done. And the beauty is that despite writing everything, she was able to complete it in 1 page. And now, because whenever she will have to revise it, in the starting it will take 15 minutes, 20 minutes. But as and when she moves forward and she keep revising only this one sheet of paper, she might be able to do it in 1 minute. So if you're doing 90 topics, you will be able to do the revision of whole of the syllabus in just 90 minutes. And that is the beauty of it. Now let us also see some not so well executed idea of compendiums. So now in this specific compendium, despite giving all the information that it needs to be developed in a blank sheet of paper, it needs to be filed, it needs to be concise, the student who has developed this compendium has violated all the norms and made it in a copy. It is descriptive, you can see. So it contains all the important things, but it is descriptive. So a lot of things that could be written here is not there, but few things that are there are in a very descriptive manner. A lot of spaces given blank. See, now when you are revising it, your eyes are going to scan the whole content. So if it is like 5 pages, your process of processing the idea or remembering the idea will be that much longer. So human eye is not exactly optical reader. It is basically a scanner. So you need to take that into account while making this compendium. That is the reason I'm asking you to do in 1 sheet of paper effectively. If not, then probably 2, but not more than that. So you can see that this is again not a very well executed example of what I have told you. Though it contains a lot of information. Most of the things that are there are here, but it again contains 3 to 4 pages. And what will happen is, once you are done with this kind of activity, the revising will become a headache. Now let us try and recap what I have told you in this video. So I have told you few simple things that you can follow. The first one of that was compendium method is one of the most efficient methods of making short notes. In order to develop compendium, you need to have a blank sheet of paper in which you need to make that compendium and make a file for each of the subjects so that it does not go haywire. Third, you can use your mind map to develop the compendium. So you need to have mind map first before developing the content. And while developing the compendium, what you should, important thing that you should notice is it should have first keywords, formulas, algorithms, diagrams, nothing descriptive in it. And then the system of revision is also important. Once you have done it, try and revise whatever compendiums you have done till that week, once a week at least. So ideally, it is advisable to go over it daily, but if you cannot go over it daily, once in 2 days, once in 3 days, but it should not be more than 1 week. That is very important. One more point that you should notice as a student is the compendiums of physics, chemistry, and mathematics will be slightly different. So in physics, you need to be very specific about the definition, the concept, because that is going to play a key role while solving problems. So it will contain all the elements, but this will become very important. While doing chemistry, the exceptions that you are doing, some extra information that the faculty provides you in the class, that becomes a very important point. All of those things need to be there, not just the concepts. In mathematics, there will be one additional thing, and that additional thing is you should also write problem types. Now, the way we are teaching you at PracBee, every chapter contains types of problems that are formed in that chapter. So you as a student should be very careful in writing those problem types, headings, and then one line how to solve that problem. Then this will become very effective in retaining most of the things that is taught across 90 topics in JEE syllabus. Now the same logic can also be applied to NEET as well, because NEET also contains tremendous amount of syllabus. So whatever I've told in context of JEE is also true in the context of NEET, and it is also true in the context of foundation, because if you develop this idea and habit of making compendium early in your preparation cycle, it is going to take you to places. All the best.